Hi. Hello. Hello. Hi. You're so little. I live in a small space, so I found that it was a lot easier to try and coexist with her rather than establish like a firm hierarchy, alpha beta relationship. I'm not really a trainer, and cats, felines are naturally defiant. Cats like to hide in sheltered spaces, so I tried to make her feel secure and supported with my touch. I noticed at the beginning I was hesitant with petting because I'm not used to non romantic affection. It sounds obvious, but the way they use their bodies to interact with the world around them is so different to us. So getting to know her anatomy definitely helped with my awareness. Her paws, her claws, her ears, her face, her legs. Look at them claws. Look at them claws. I have moved your whiskers because I saw you. You thought you were a clever clogs. You thought you were a clever clogs. You thought you were a clever clogs. And now, where is it? Where is it? It's gone. You confused? Bonding is important so that you naturally have the patience when there are energy clashes. It takes a lot of patience and compromise. Using toys and playing with them even if you're tired. Taking her out on the harness in my case. Definitely, completely and utterly underestimated how much energy she'd have. Days that I had a low mood and needed to lay in bed while she was at 110% were extremely stressful. Trying to do housework or journal or sew was difficult if she was understimulated and needed to play. I used to get so agitated when she'd attack the dustpan and brush or try to climb my leg while I was at the kitchen. Over time, it does get easier. If you're a first-time owner and you're overwhelmed, it's completely normal. They're wild animals at the end of the day. I know we use the term domestication, but their idea of play is fighting. When we're kids and we want to play, we grab dollies or cars, or we're different. I use like the gel litter. I don't like the clumping litter because it's powdery and she tracks the dust everywhere. Last time I could slap my pillow and the kitty litter dust was there and it was gross. It was gross. So I use the little beads because they're easy to sweep up if she tracks them outside of the box. My favorite times are definitely when she's a little calmer, when she's cuddling, purring, observing. Sometimes she drives me crazy. If you're living in a studio like me, space is definitely important. Luckily, I have a neighbor downstairs to me with a black cat who can watch her if I want to go out. I do leave her alone to run errands. When I went ice skating, I filled her bowls and gave her a mechanical fish toy. It was about 20 and rechargeable. It floats when she interacts with it. I notice she loses interest almost instantly in toys if I'm not moving them around. They're natural hunters, so a moving target working automatically was great. Although I am scared that she's getting a bit bored of it. Tailoring the environment to her needs greatly reduced my anxiety when leaving her home alone. Okay, now we're going off the script. Oh, I spent so long just being like, I want a cat, I want a cat. Like, all my problems are gonna be solved once I have this companion, but the idea and the reality are completely different. They come with so much energy and so much of their own will and their own desires that it's it's less like you're owning something and more like you're having to coexist with something. It's definitely been a challenge and it is humbling in a lot of ways. I see myself in her desire for attention, a desire to be seen and supported and comforted. It has been a lot and I do still get frustrated. but I'm learning, and I can't wait for her to mature and not be a kitten, because kitten stage is like the teethiest, clawiest, wildest, feral. So I can't wait for her to just chill out a bit. At the same time, I really do want to give her a happy childhood. I just want my cat to be happy. I want my cat to be happy. It's not the biggest space, but it's doable if I put enough of myself into it. With that being said, taking care of myself before I take care of her is important, because if I don't have the patience, she doesn't get good treatment from me. Do I have tips? I have a tip, not multiple tips. When, like, this morning, she started clawing at my legs to wake up. Like, it was like 6 and she wanted to play. Or sometimes I'm on my phone and she'll be touching the screen or pouncing at me. And before, I used to just like push her away, but now what I do is I grab her, hold her really tightly, and just smother her with affection. And either she'll calm down or she'll wiggle out to go play with something else, and it's much more effective. It's even the energy of that compared to pushing her away is a lot more loving, it's a lot more caring. That's the goal, really. Having a baby wild animal, it's a lot. Nah, nah, nah. Let me take you to the real. Keep climbing, you got it. You got it. Do you want me to let go? Come, you got it. I've got you. Let's keep going. You've got it. You've got it. No? Do you want to come down? I live around tight roads, cars, and dog walkers, so I don't think I'll be letting her out unsupervised, especially with foxes in the area. Right now, I put her on the harness, but I noticed she's a lot calmer and in her element when I took it off. So I'll be doing that more in open spaces. Look at her, she's so much calmer. Like, she was just grooming herself now. Like, she'd never normally groom herself in the harness. Like, she's not stuttering. She seems comfy. She's bending her body. On our first few walks, she'd constantly hide under cars or go through gates onto properties. I think they're naturally seeking out shelter in unfamiliar territory. It'll take some time to get her consistently walking. And even now, I have to pick her up if I want her to, like, get moving. Shuri, can we go? Shuri. This coming out all dusty and discombobulated and shit. Oh my god. So a dog just pounced at her. The owners grabbed them, but she's a bit frazzled, so I put her in the tree and it's like, go to your safe space, my love, go to your safe space. But I don't think it was a great experience, like me dragging her out of the bush and then her having to square up to the dog. Like, it's been a stressful day for her. Show them. No, you were barking. Go back to that. Look at you. Yes, bitch. Yes, bitch. Oh my god. Buddy. And we combine, give me the strength, the peace of my body. I'm really ready to meet me, my daughter. Please help me alone. Am I speaking from my experience or am I trying to give advice? I need to give advice that I need to take. take time with yourself, be patient with yourself. I keep using the same words, say something new. I just have to be real. I have to be honest. It's frustrating. It's stressful. It's a lot. She's adorable and she's amazing and she's beautiful. Trying to get some sleep while she's pouncing or grabbing at your hair, or trying to just make a cup of tea while she's constantly screeching and meowing for your attention. Like, it can be a lot. It can be a lot. One big issue for me is her not realizing how rough she was playing, because it's not like you can tell her, like, I don't want to play, or this was too much. Like, you kind of just have to employ different tactics to increase how gentle they are. Sometimes I'll tap on her claws to get her to put them away, or I'll just respond with like very slow stroking so she realizes that, hey, I know you're filled with that much energy, but I'm chill right now, I'm mellow right now. And we're getting into the habit of her going off to play. Or it's compromise as well. Sometimes, even if I'm not feeling it, sometimes if I'd rather be on my phone, I do have to pick up a toy and play with her. So that, it's lovely though, but I'd have to include all the frustration, all the stress, and I did consider rehoming her because it got a lot, and I was like, I don't want to be a shitty owner because we're both suffering. But it's a challenge that I'm willing to keep trying at, because I did want a cat for a very long time, but it has been very eye-opening to see that the idea of what you think is going to be the solution and what it actually is when it gets here, so different. But I guess this is teaching me the skills that I need to progress on my path and on my journey. I'm welcoming it. It's been difficult, but I'm welcoming it, accommodating her. Another thing as well, when you're in, I know I said like I didn't want like an alpha beta relationship, but fundamentally, like, I buy her food, I fill her bowl, I put her on the harness. It's like I am in the position of power. You have a greater responsibility to bend over, to compromise. The more power you have, the more responsibility. Oh shit, that's a thing. Hey, Spider-Man. But for real though, like, Black is King, and it's like the greatest rulers are the greatest servants. I don't know if they said it like that, but that's what I got from it. Like, when you're put above, the call is greater for you to give more of yourself. She's got so much going on and no one to rant to, no one to FaceTime. She's just got to keep living. If you make things uncomfortable for her, she just has to trust that you're going to be better later. It's a lot for you, but it's also a lot for them. Putting yourself in their shoes, looking at the world through their eyes definitely helps. Times where she goes for my charger, starts to claw it or chew on it, my instinct is to get really upset, but she doesn't know what a phone is. She doesn't know that that piece of cable is a lot more important than the other ones. She just wants to live. She just wants to have fun and explore and be comfy and hunt. And it's not easy living in a small space. It's not easy having to cross busy, tight, congested roads every time you want to get to a green space. But we're here for the long run and to make the most of it. The language barrier as well, it's actually quite refreshing to communicate in different ways. It's eye contact, it's touch, it's how quickly you respond, it's body language, it's life. I don't know how to round off about like getting to like hippy dippy. Shuri definitely keeps me grounded in the routine. Playing with her, taking her out, feeding her consistently, having someone that you're responsible for. The way she breathes is so quick and so sharp. Sometimes I try to match my breathing to hers or pet her the way, in sync with the way she's breathing. And it's just these tiny things that are helping me get so in tune with the world around me. I love it. She's so sensitive. I love her. I love her so much.
Hello, how are you? How are you?